Hi VC, well, it has been a very long time since I have made a video, so haven't really found a great deal except last week when I was looking somewhere for a long time, talking to somebody else, um, and found some things and went to pay, and then as soon as the lady said, "Oh, there's something else over here," in some boxes, I sort of thought, so I immediately went over there, and it's sort of always the way that the things that you were about to buy, maybe you'd scrape together a bit. So I went to just put all those back, to be honest with you, when I sort of saw all these other records, mainly different things, not general rock and pop, but just a real mishmash of things that were in really good condition, and just thought, right, I better make the most of this while I can. I've got a few other things to show you, a couple of other things to talk about. Went to a gig the other month. In fact, actually, it was the end of January. That was Mark Lanigan Band, who was obviously in Screaming Trees. I'd never seen him before. The only knowledge I really had was on the singles soundtrack when he was in Screaming Trees. But this was a really good gig for 20 quid, £20, as you can see there. A really great venue. The atmosphere built very well. There was a lot of younger people there, I think, that had maybe gone to Spotify or something and sort of found a link that it was like Kurt Cobain or that sort of grunge thing. But he was, I dare I say, I was even standing there thinking, this guy's really sublime and really deep lyrics, sound. The band were great, which was what I was expecting. And for London, the car parking wasn't too bad either. So yeah, that was a really good gig. Now I have got tickets to see Nightwish in London, but it's not until December, so I'm sort of looking for something to do or to go and see before then. But as of at the moment, I can't find much, which would lead me on to my local pub. Have been having a vinyl night every other Monday, so I've been to about maybe, I can't remember, maybe 5 or 6 or so. But the great thing is there's different people, different ages, and the younger people, I say younger, like over 20 or so, they're just into different things. So you get to hear, whether it's Boards of Canada or some drum and bass from 5, 10 years ago you've maybe missed out on or something. So that is really good, and we go in there, and then I don't know if you can see that, there's a board there which is probably usually used for food. So we put our names on there in an order. Very, very British, very civilised, I suppose, queuing system. And then just have a 20-minute slot, and everybody sits around. Nobody has really slagged off each other's tastes so much. One person has said they really don't like jazz, so it's become a bit of a let's convert him to some jazz, which I myself didn't really like either until maybe even a couple of years ago or so, I suppose. But yeah, that's a really good night. The beer is great. It's all sort of like local independent breweries or stuff they get from other places as well. And it's been really good to meet some other people that are a little bit vinyl obsessed. So without further ado, I guess I'll crack on with what I've got. Yeah. Okay, so this is what's playing, and this is the whole batch that I got. They were £1 each from the place where I put the other ones back, which was a charity shop. So this is what's playing. We've got a mono copy of Herbie Mann at the Village Gate. I like this. It has long versions of Summertime and To Ain't Necessarily So. I mean, you see that cover and it sort of jumps out, and you think that's got to be good. I've heard of the name. There's some good liner notes on the back worth reading. Okay, got a Orson Welles there on the cover. The theme from the film in Vienna, which I can't remember its name now. The Third Man. Yeah. So this is all zither music. Volume 2 of the Four Tops Greatest Hits. Yeah. I love the track Simple Game. In fact, actually, my dad liked this band from what I knew of his musical tastes. Yeah. I've got a double of this, Jesus Christ Superstar. I don't think I've ever really heard this, to be honest. Just, hasn't been on my radar really. And that has some amusing pictures there, shall we say? And I think it came with a booklet as well. Yes, it did. Got this. One side is English instrumental children's songs, and the other side is a story about Peter Rabbit being a naughty boy. And the music and everything is done by this guy here, Dudley Glass. I have seen this listed for a lot of money. I don't know whether it's worth that much, to be brutally honest with you. But we shall see. I played it, I quite liked it. This is some sort of, I guess it's sort of jazz, classical sort of thing, and this sounded good as well. Creation of the World. Sweet, I guess. Darius Milhaud. I don't know how you pronounce that, but that was a very nice find. This one here, I haven't heard this yet. Eddie Gourmet? Not Gourmet, maybe. Gourmet now. Swings the Blue. So as we go through this, you can sort of see that if all these were brought in by one person, you can sort of build a picture of who they were or what they were like. It didn't really have a lot of rock or metal or anything after mid-70s, but I'm guessing that they all came from the same person. So this lady was a little bit like Margaret Thatcher, except she was on British TV in the 1980s, giving some very strict instructions to people that own dogs. And she's called Barbara Woodhouse. So it's a spoken word album. Yeah, no messing around with Barbara. Yeah, a softer image of Mireille Mathieu with a rose, French singer. Don't know much about her at all. Shaft, double album of Shaft there, with the adverts for his other albums. Yeah, I quite like this. Maybe I would rather have a single with the bits that I like on there. Yeah, some of it is not so listenable as others. Yeah, I'm sure his studio album is very listenable though. This, don't know much about this. First Choice, Armed and Extremely Dangerous. Well, those shoes look quite dangerous, as do the trousers, I guess. Okay. Yeah, and whoever had these records, they bought them from Harrods. Quite a few Harrods stickers on here. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know. I probably could have left this one. It looks quite bad, to be honest with you, but there you go. I think this was not from I got it at the same time, but it wasn't from the same people. It's someone from Cypress Hill. It's an album sampler featuring Be Real from the Rough House Columbia album, The Psycho Realm. Yeah, don't know much about that, but these are all £1, so it's worth a try. Couple of Noel Coward albums, in fact, different covers, same album. Never mind. Motown Chartbusters, volume 10, from mid-70s. Not quite sure what year it is. It's got a promo stamp there. Well, this I thought would look lovely in a thingy on the wall in a frame. Yeah. Unfortunately, I've only got the first one, episodes 1 to 13, but that is a great sort of iconic cover. It's sort of like a drama from BBC Radio. There was a lot of other spoken words, French ones mainly, but language sort of albums, I don't know, not really my sort of thing, to be honest. Unless, of course, I was learning the language. I don't know who this lady is. Marion Montgomery on Brunswick. And I don't know much about this one either. Sort of scanned through some of these albums. I'm not quite so keen on them. They're more the ones that maybe I wouldn't have picked up. More of an unusual cover here. Brass Shout. Quincy Jones album with some music from films or TV or I'm not quite sure. There's a version of What's Going On here. Yeah, I haven't listened to that one yet. And then we have the album with the Gimme Shelter cover version on, which, yeah, the rest of the album's not too bad either. But nice to hear that song sung by somebody else. This is in good condition. Very good condition, I would say. Comes with the original inner sleeve and a capital label. Yeah, there's not even any spindle marks on it at all. I haven't looked at what pressing is or anything, but yeah, it's not the sort of thing you find, is it, every day, really? Especially with this sort of like textured cover. We've got a bit of sort of light opera, I guess. This is sort of mainly got it because it's singing in German, so it's quite nice. You see this sticker here? This is actually something they do in the UK where you have a number if you're a donator and they send your tax back. But knowing these stickers, I know that they come off quite easily. There's other ones that have been on there 20 years or something that don't, and then they sort of get a bit of a mess then. Peter Sarstedt debut album, I'm not sure, but it's got the lyric sheet in there and everything, and his main hit, a few other interesting tracks from United Artists there. And then we've got a Nina Simone album. I played this, wasn't that keen on it. A couple of tracks maybe were pretty good. I think the Ballad of Hollis Brown was quite a good track, interesting track. But generally, not really familiar with her apart from My Baby Just Cares For Me, really. Okay, this one I wasn't so keen on either. This is samba music with Stan Getz, Charlie Bird. Yeah, nice cover though, in good, great condition and everything. Not really my thing. And this one I did think I would like. It's very, very somber, very quite hard going. It's a Jewish Prayers album with more classical music by Bruch, Ravel, and somebody called Partos, and it's got the Hatikva, the national anthem of Israel, on there. Very topical because they're obviously voting for a new Prime Minister today, or around about now. I'm not quite sure, but it's been on the news a little bit. So that was the end of the big haul that I got, except for the ones which I did decide to go for were some sort of something that maybe you see in some countries where you've had people from this country come and they obviously want to offload all their records here. So they are Melodia Soviet Union albums. They're more towards the end of that period of history, so late 80s. So you had some sort of very strange things turning up. Now the thing about these albums is that when you buy them, generally if you don't speak Russian and there's not a little bit of translated English, you do not know what you are getting unless you go on pictures or cover or I don't know, the length of the tracks or something. I'm not sure really. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, which I picked up. This is called Black Coffee Group, which from the cover looks quite rocky. And in fact, judging by the people in the band, you have sort of a Bono with a bit of makeup here, and he's someone from Spinal Tap. It's a pretty good album actually. It's quite rock, slightly metal, I guess, but yeah, Black Coffee Group. The next one is a sort of a literary musical composition. So it's some sort of rock composition, but done with somebody's poetry. So it's very like sort of different is how I would describe it. But yeah, this is interesting as well. Interesting album there. This guy, I don't know his name, I don't think. Oh, hang on, he was called. Could he have been called Bulat Ordukshva? I cannot pronounce Russian at all, but I think he was sort of like a poet or something. Yeah. So I haven't listened to that one yet, but it's sort of been recommended. This guy, somebody was talking about him, and I remembered his name or his picture or something. This one is more 80s pop, weird sort of sounds. I do not know anything. I can't. No, it's all in Russian, so I don't know about that one. And this one was another sort of 80s one with wolf's eyes on the cover, and an ensemble of 2, 4, 6, 7 people there. So I thought that might be worth a go. Okay, so that was that particular. I just have a few other albums to go through, which I have picked up at various periods. They probably all cost about £1 or even less. So I've got a Mungo Jerry album, which has got In the Summertime. This is a very good album. It's a purple one as well. I've seen other colours on the label there. Called Electronically Tested. I'll get that back in now, but I think it's in good condition, yeah. Here I've got a Best of Lonnie Liston Smith. I have another copy of Night Train. I will compare this to the one I already have. Cover I think the cover is slightly different. Yeah. I like the album, so yeah. A very nice copy of Local Hero. Another spare copy, or replacement copy, or To Be Frankenstein, The Proclaimers. And Pipes of Peace, Paul McCartney, from the Gatefold. Yeah, I don't really know whether that is going to be any good or not. Let's see. I've got Chris Rea, The Road to Hell. I've got this one that was written by Madonna, it says. And the B-side was this Cat Stevens song or remake, I'm not sure. Okay. This is just some samples which I stumbled across. This is some sort of folk, well, instead of Toffee Apple, I guess it's called Taffy Apple. So it's, I don't know really, just some sort of folk covers versions and things on their side. This is signed as well. Yeah, I think that says Dave Brock on there, who was in Hawkwind. Whether or not that is him, I can't vouch for that really. Soccer team here, very Protestant based football team with some sectarian songs on there probably. And we also have a 4AD. I actually finished my 4AD book, which was great. did get quite hard going towards the end though. This is a band called Schewe. They're from Northern Ireland, and the book did talk about them a little bit. It's okay. It was in good condition. Pick that up. Got a random jazz album here. I don't really know much about again. And The Power and the Glory, which I think I already have, which has got a sample or two on it. And that is pretty much it. I think I might go now because my tea is getting cold, and that's far too long a video. It wasn't too like list based, and I will try and come back to you and not leave it like another 3-4 months before the next time. So see you soon, and thanks for watching. Bye.